In the remote village of Kashasha, located along the western shores of Lake Victoria in 1962, an eerie and uncontrollable force swept through a modest boarding school for girls, leaving a trail of bewildered teachers, frightened parents, and hysterically laughing children in its wake. What began as a few giggles between friends morphed into an epidemic of inexplicable laughter that spread like wildfire, jumping from person to person, village to village, defying all logic and reason. This bizarre phenomenon, known as the Tanganyika Laughter Epidemic, would mystify medical professionals and sociologists for decades to come. As we unravel the layers of this extraordinary event, we delve into the heart of a community gripped by a mystery that blurred the lines between reality and the surreal, compelling us to question the limits of human endurance and the hidden depths of the human psyche. In the village of Kashasha, on January 30th, 1962, odd things started to happen at a girls' boarding school that was run by a mission. It started out innocuously. 3 students began laughing uncontrollably. The laughter quickly spread among the students, creating an environment of chaos and confusion. By the end of the day, nearly 95 of the 159 pupils at the school were affected. These students experienced fits of laughter that could last anywhere from a few minutes to several hours, some extreme cases lasting as long as 16 days. The uncontrollable laughter led to students exhibiting additional symptoms, such as crying spells, running fits, and even occasional physical aggression, further complicating the environment. Teachers and staff at the schools were at a loss, unable to control the situation or identify a cause. The situation became so disruptive that the school was forced to close temporarily. What made the Tanganyika Laughter Epidemic particularly alarming was its rapid spread beyond the confines of the Kashasha school. The laughter moved like an infectious disease, reaching the students' families and neighboring villages. Within a few weeks, schools in Nashamba, another town 55 miles away, were reporting similar outbreaks. The epidemic did not discriminate, affecting both children and adults alike, although school-age children were the primary victims. By March 1962, 14 schools had been shut down, and the epidemic had impacted an estimated 1,000 people. The spread of the laughter was so pervasive that entire villages were paralyzed by the phenomenon, with people being unable to carry out their daily activities. This widespread disruption indicated that the laughter epidemic was more than just a series of isolated incidents. Understanding the socio-cultural context of Tanganyika in 1962 is crucial to grasping the full impact of the epidemic. Tanganyika had just gained independence from British colonial rule in 1961, and the new nation was navigating the complexities of post-colonial governance and identity. The population, predominantly rural and engaged in agriculture, was experiencing significant socioeconomic changes. It's possible that widespread psychological disorders emerged during this transitioning time due to the tension and uncertainty that pervaded the atmosphere. The laughter epidemic can thus be seen as a symptom of the broader societal anxieties and upheavals of the time. After gaining independence, many people worked hard to overcome the economic and social inequalities caused by colonialism and forge a new national identity. The emotional and mental strain of these changes probably contributed greatly to the start and growth of the laughing pandemic. The primary symptom of the epidemic was uncontrollable laughter, but other behaviors often accompanied it. Some individuals experienced crying spells, while others exhibited signs of restlessness and physical violence. Each person's fits of laughter varied in duration, with some lasting only a few minutes, and others persisting for days. The strange and frightening nature of the outbreak was further highlighted by the extreme severity of the symptoms. In severe cases, individuals reported pain, fainting, and respiratory problems as a result of prolonged laughter. The epidemic had a profound impact on daily life in the affected communities. Schools were the first to bear the brunt, with many being forced to close as the laughter spread uncontrollably among students and staff. Workplaces also suffered as affected individuals were unable to perform their duties. Agricultural activities, the backbone of the local economy, were disrupted as well. Economic losses and social isolation resulted from the disruption of markets and communal meetings. Initial attempts to explain the laughter epidemic focused on medical and psychological theories. Some hypothesized that the laughter epidemic was a type of encephalitis, a form of brain inflammation, but they quickly ruled this out. Others suggested that the symptoms were psychosomatic, a physical manifestation of psychological stress. The lack of a clear medical explanation only added to the fear and confusion surrounding the epidemic. Efforts to find a biological cause involved numerous tests and examinations, but none provided conclusive results. The most widely accepted explanation for the Tanganyika Laughter Epidemic is that it was a case of mass hysteria, also known as mass psychogenic illness. Psychological stress can produce this phenomenon, which happens when multiple people show comparable medical symptoms without a clear physical reason. In the case of Tanganyika, the socioeconomic pressures of a newly independent nation, coupled with the stress of school life, may have contributed to the outbreak. Researchers drew historical comparisons to similar events, such as the medieval dancing plagues in Europe, to underscore the profound and mysterious effects of mass hysteria on communities. The Tanganyika Laughter Epidemic was not an isolated incident, but one of a trio of perplexing behavioral epidemics that rippled through the region around Lake Victoria in the early 1960s. According to observations by Benjamin H. Kagwa in the East African Medical Journal, these phenomena, often classified as mass hysteria or mania, seem to follow ethnic and tribal lines, with symptoms clustering within specific groups. Kagwa noted that the sudden shift away from traditional cultural beliefs, which had long anchored these communities, played a significant role in these emotional upheavals. Following the laughter epidemic that began in Bukoba, Tanganyika in January 1962, similar manias surfaced in Uganda. In July 1963, the village of Kigezi was struck by a running mania, where individuals exhibited uncontrollable bouts of running, accompanied by chest pain, agitation, and a spectrum of other distressing symptoms, including violence and depression. This unsettling pattern repeated in Mbale in Uganda in November 1963, mirroring the symptoms of the earlier incident. These sequential epidemics of laughter and running manias highlight the profound psychological impact of rapid cultural changes on tightly knit tribal communities. The response from the affected communities was a mix of fear, bewilderment, and proactive measures. Parents and teachers were at a loss, with many resorting to traditional remedies and prayers in an attempt to cure the afflicted. Some communities isolated the affected individuals, hoping to contain the spread. Local leaders and elders played a crucial role in trying to calm the populace and restore a sense of normalcy. Despite these efforts, the laughter epidemic continued to disrupt daily life for several months. The community response also included attempts to understand the epidemic through local beliefs and practices. Traditional healers and spiritual leaders were consulted, and various rituals were performed in an effort to stop the laughter. These efforts reflect the deep-seated cultural and spiritual dimensions of the community's response to the epidemic. The Tanganyikan government took several steps to address the epidemic. Public health officials were dispatched to the affected areas to investigate and provide support. Schools were temporarily closed to prevent the further spread of the laughter. Educational campaigns were launched to inform the public about the situation and to reassure them that the epidemic, while disturbing, was not life-threatening. These measures helped to gradually bring the epidemic under control, although it took several months for the laughter to subside completely. Personal stories and testimonies from those who lived through the laughter epidemic provide a poignant and human perspective on the event. Many victims recall the helplessness they felt as their bodies convulsed with laughter, unable to stop despite the physical pain. Teachers and parents described the surreal and frightening scenes of classrooms and homes filled with uncontrollable laughter. These first-hand accounts underscore the psychological and emotional impact of the epidemic on individuals and families. Some victims described the laughter as both a joyful and terrifying experience, a dichotomy that added to the confusion and distress. In the years following the laughter epidemic, numerous researchers have explored the psychological and social dynamics that can lead to mass hysteria, using the Tanganyika case as a key example. Studies have examined the role of group dynamics, stress, and environmental factors in triggering such events. The results have helped fill gaps in our knowledge of the causes and mechanisms of mass psychogenic disease. Researchers have also investigated the neurobiological and physiological aspects of mass hysteria, seeking to understand how psychological stress can translate into physical symptoms. The Tanganyika Laughter Epidemic is often compared to other instances of mass psychogenic illness throughout history. Similar cases include the Salem witch trials, the medieval dancing plagues, and more recent outbreaks of fainting and illness in schools. These comparisons highlight the recurring nature of such phenomena and the common psychological and social factors that underpin them. Comparative studies have also explored the cultural and historical contexts of different mass psychogenic illnesses, revealing patterns and variations in how such events manifest and are perceived. These comparisons contribute to a deeper and more nuanced understanding of the Tanganyika Laughter Epidemic and its place in the broader history of psychological phenomena. The Tanganyika Laughter Epidemic offers profound lessons for both public health and psychology. This bizarre and unsettling event underscores the necessity of a holistic approach to health that integrates psychological and social factors with physical symptoms. It also emphasizes the crucial role of effective communication and education in managing public health crises, illustrating how deeply interconnected mental well-being and societal conditions are. The legacy of the Tanganyika Laughter Epidemic continues to inform and inspire research, ensuring that the mysterious events of 1962 are not forgotten. Today, medical researchers and journalists study the incident not only for its historical significance, but also for the insights it provides into the nature of mass psychogenic illness. The laughter epidemic has heightened awareness of mental health and the need for comprehensive approaches to addressing psychological and social stressors in communities. Its enduring legacy lives on in the continued efforts to understand and mitigate the complex interplay of factors that can trigger mass psychogenic illness, reminding us of the importance of nurturing both mental and physical health in our societies.